I gotta decide which one of these tanks to bring into the house. So I'm going to bring one into the basement and get it going. Well, get spark, make everything, check it over pretty much. Then of course I'll bring it back outside, start it. I'm not that big of a redneck, so I'm kind of thinking of 16 horse down there, but I'm also thinking that 10 horse Kohler would be kind of fun to play with. I also got that water pump down there that needs carburetor work and a few other things. Okay, so this one here looks kind of interesting. Has a number plate on the back there, so just for anyone that cares. So according to the number plate on here, it's a 1959. I know it's probably not really showing up the best on the video here. Yeah, it's 1959. Gotta look up those models numbers right there, find out exactly what size this one is. Now I'm not sure what is with this. If someone just put that on there as a cap. It's kind of interesting. It's just covered with oil. I have no idea if it has spark or anything. So first thing I'm going to do is give it a little bit of a cleaning. Sweet. Giving her a good old bath. Man, you can just see that stuff just pulling the dirt right off it. So again, I'm using Motormaster foaming engine cleaner. Tire shine also works, and a tire cleaner. So if you don't have this, you can use tire cleaner. It works pretty good. Another guy on YouTube showed me that, and tire cleaner is about the same price roughly. So, but tire cleaner gives it kind of a shine after. So you can see it's already starting to dry. So now I gotta go get a pressure washer. Sweet. Oh, yummy! Look how plugged up that is. Governor's just all broken apart here. Look at it. So I gotta figure out that. I pulled it apart because I actually started seeing twigs and stuff flying out of it, so straw. Which one to try? Which one to try? I had a bunch of other ones, but I've been using them up pretty quickly over the last little bit. Rim and tire cleaner and this tire foam. I think I'll use the rim and tire. So I bought these on sale for like $3 a can, so it's a lot cheaper than just standard engine shampoo. Sweet. And by the way, for anyone that cares, there's the Zilla. That's the Quadzilla. It's still all in pieces. So besides the engine parts, some of them are in that crate, and the actual block itself is put away. And yeah, no updates on that yet. Okay, so I gave her a quick pressure wash. I did leave one spot there I missed, but that's not too big of a deal. Gas tank's still rustier. So you can see where I blasted it there. There's a piece of the screen from the bottom of the fuel pickup stuck to the end there. So this is the top of the oil bath air filter, so the rest of the air filter is missing. This is kind of different. I've never seen a setup like that before, so I got to pop that off, take a look at that. I pulled out the spark plug, no water whatsoever got in. Piston's nice and clean. So it seems to turn over with okay compression. It is only a 2 horse. I've never seen a Magneto. It's a point system, so it's not the Magnetron or whatever you want to call it. So I haven't seen one like that before. The spark plug wire is just wrapped around here, so it makes for easy changing, I guess. The new one I'll actually solder onto there. I popped open the oil because I wanted to see if any water got in the oil, and there's no oil in the engine. It's bone dry. So what I'm going to do now is just pop off a few things. I already checked, it has no spark. Might just be a wiring issue, I'm not too sure. So I'm going to pull off the gas tank, pull off the flywheel, check the points, do a compression test. I might as well do that while I'm at it. That sure is overbuilt on these old engines, so oil up everything, and then I'll try to do a start on it. Okay, so now that I got her all nice and cleaned up, it seems like it's 1971. Recoils from 59, so someone changed the recoil before. I'll see if I can actually find a different recoil then, because I don't want to really put this recoil on this one if it's not what is meant for it, of course. Not too sure yet what I'm going to do with this engine when I get it running. I'm kind of thinking just to make a spare water pump, kind of like the other one we have in the shed. You gotta sneeze. You gotta sneeze. Almost sneezed there. Anyway, so I'm thinking of making a spare water pump. Or I might just strap it to an alternator, just a alternator on the side. Or I might get a generator starter motor and mount it to this, just so it's, you know, an alternator, generator, starter, whatever. That's actually cleaned up pretty nice from the pressure washer. So you can see it in there, it's all pretty good. So what I'm going to do for today is pull off the gas tank, because I got to get that dried out. You can see there's quite a bit of crud in there, so that's all from sitting over the years, so that's why I didn't want to turn it over too much. I did pull it once just to make sure, so, but it's always a good idea to check and make sure there's no grime and gunk stuck in there, because of course you'll scratch the shit out of your piston. I'm going to give it a compression test, but before I do that I might even pull off the head and just see the shape of the cylinder walls and everything, and then give it a quick compression test. I finally found my compression tester. It was kind of buried in a pile of shit. So, okay, start the video again once I know what I'm going to do with it. Okay, I pulled off the carburetor. I know it's not really showing up on the video here, but yeah, there's quite a bit of crud in there, so it's just from sitting, so that's why I didn't want to pull it over too much. But seeing how dirty that is, I am pulling off the head. I don't want to really ruin this engine. Yeah, I was right, that was the screen. That was by the gas filter when I was washing it, so the screen popped off. It's nothing to put in a replacement. You can see there's quite a bit of settlements here. It's pretty gritty. So anyway, this gas tank is dirty, but I know I could get that rust out pretty easy. So I'll make a video how I clean tanks, and when it's done it looks brand new. And no, it's not just with sand and stuff in it or chains, but it's pretty close to that. So I'm going to attempt to remove this exhaust header, which is kind of unique. I haven't seen a style like that before, so I'll attempt to remove it. Just give me a few minutes. Okay, I tried with those big ass 1.5 foot long channel locks. No way, so impact gun it is. This is just a cheap Princess Auto one. Okay, I give it a try with the motor like this. It's on all the way, yep. Pushing down. Oh, it came off. There we go. That doesn't make sense. Oh, okay. Oh, man. That can't be very, you know, can't be the best air... Oop, help if I have been in camera. That can't be the best airflow. Ugh. So, that is unique. I have not seen something like that before. For a lot of people it might be common, but I just haven't seen that. This motor here has a lot of use on it by the looks of it. That is pretty carboned up in there. So yeah, I'm going to pull off the head and see what it looks like. Oh, yummy. That's one more reason why I didn't want to just start it. Okay, I got some pine needles in there. You can't really tell, but that's about 1 millimeter thick, that slime. That's pretty good grime. You can see there's some bug nestas or something right there. So yeah, this was all inside this engine, so yummy. Yummy is right. I thank God I pulled the head before I even did a compression tester. So one more thing, my compression tester, the way it is, if I put it all the way in, I think I'm going to not be able to bottom it out. Like if I put it all the way in my compression tester, I think it's not, I'm going to have to probably find some kind of spacers for this. Mind you, if the rings look good, it might be good to go. I don't know. Have to wait and see. Have to give it a good cleaning, that's for sure. So I actually just gave it a quick, you know, spray with silicone lube. I can't use carb cleaner, brake clean, anything like that inside because it makes the whole house stink, of course. So gave it a shot with that, and it actually, that stuff actually makes a pretty decent cleaner. So I'm just going to slowly bring this up. I don't want to turn it over much more than I have to. So I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to wipe it clean and see what it looks like. Sweet. Okay, just gave it a quick wipe. So all the valves seem to be good. Doesn't seem to... That's this making a noise that you're hearing there, but it doesn't seem to have any crank play or anything. There is a ridge on the cylinder wall where it's been sitting, so but I'm pretty sure a quick hone will fix that. You can see right there the ridge. Now, the fact that it has that ridge, it means the oil rings could be shot on the piston, so I could just, you know, throw it together, see if it burns oil, or I could actually pull it right apart, change the rings. It's hard to say if it's worth even buying the rings and putting money into a motor like this, just being it's either a 2-horse or a 3.5. I still never Googled the number, so I'll Google that number tonight sometime. I'm actually hoping it's only a 2-horse, because, you know, it's a lot more cooler to have a 2-horse than a 3.5 or a 3-horse. So, size-wise, I don't even have a tape measure here to measure the piston. It's about probably 2 inches, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to measure it. No, I don't have a tape measure anywhere around here, so I have to measure it and find out. Sweet. Even behind the ID plate here, you can see how much dirt's lodged up inside it. So, yeah, she needed a cleaning big time. So, and that's after I squirted it from the front side here, where my finger's moving, back here. I blasted it to try to clean it all out, and a lot came out. I mean, this thing had to have been at least 90% plugged, which means horrible cooling, so who knows what kind of damage was done. So far the piston looks pretty decent. So of course I'm gonna, you know, inspect the bottom end while I have it out. Has a little bit of crud built up in there, nothing too major. You can see it has been leaking on the bottom here just by the decoloration of the gasket. There is a little bit of oil in there, a couple drops of water. Water most likely is just from what I just did. So I know this ain't really showing up the best here, but it's actually not that sludgy. It's pretty decent. Timing marks are painted, so I'm not sure if that's something the factory did or if it's someone had it apart before. So I'm just going to pop out the cam and pull out the piston. Sweet. Okay, I quickly looked and seen what kind of clearance it has. It seems to be not too bad. I never got into any details or measurements or anything like that. I just looked. It seemed to have some clearance in there, so I know it's not tight or anything. Of course, I'm going to pull right out the valves and everything and give them a quick grind, whatever. Talk about grime and grinding. I better clean that up before I make a mess. Gasket came off in one piece. All the gaskets so far did. I might just wash them, you know, redneck style. Clean the gaskets and spray them down with some of this stuff here and reuse them. So, because I don't want to put much money into this engine. I am going to need a new head gasket because it's separated pulling it off. There's some of it stuck up in here. So head gasket I'll need for sure. Now, if the entire engine gasket set's under 25 bucks, I might just buy one. I gotta wait and see what the piston looks like, of course, so, okay. Pretty much just gotta push out the rod. Rod cap looks good, so, let's see if I can, ooh, I don't want that to fly out that fast. It went flying. So, yeah, some marking on it. Have to clean it up, see what kind of shape it's truly in, see if it's salvageable or not. So just some pretty good marks on it. Been overheated, maybe, hard to say. Of course now it's, oh, and the reason why I'm leaving on the flywheel is because I don't want to, you know, have to go through the hassle of pulling the flywheel to fix the spark until I know the rest of the engine's in good shape. So I'll have to shut off the camera, clean it up, and see what I can do. Sweet. Okay, so the cylinder wall, although it kind of looks a little rough in some spots, it actually still has cross-hatching. That's nothing that a light tone wouldn't take out. There's no gouges whatsoever. It's actually smooth. So yeah, there's a couple little marks that you see with your eye, but one quick pass, one quick hone, and it'd be good as new. Now for the piston, it's, you know, nothing like, even this mark right here, I'm not sure if that's showing up. I can't even feel that. So with my fingernail, I could barely feel it. The rings themselves look to be in great shape. So I'm not sure if that's showing up on the video or not. So a little mark there. So like that mark right there, I'm not sure if that's even showing up. It's nothing. Like, I mean, there's no gouges, nothing in this piston. So I'll just give it a quick cleaning. I know some people use sandpaper and actually sand the piston. I don't know if I'll go that far, but I will hone the cylinder. So I know in some old repair manuals, Climber, or not, I can't remember what, maybe it was actually the actual Honda manuals, they said something about sanding pistons with 600 grit sandpaper, which I have done before and had no issues with it, but in this case here, I'm probably not going to bother. The cam itself seems to be in great shape, so no issues there. So yeah, I'll bring it outside, give it a good parts wash, and hone it, and then I'll decide if I'm going to use those rings. I might just change them, seeing I got it apart anyway, you know, whatever. So, and for that head, it needs a good cleaning. So, so you can actually see the crud built up on there. Like, ugh, it's gritty. So I don't know if that came in after or what the story is with that. So I will sandblast stuff like the exhaust manifold if I'm going to reuse that. The head I'll sandblast. Maybe I'll sandblast the carburetor, you know what I mean. The gas tank for sure I'm going to sandblast. That's pretty much how I'm going to clean it. So, okay. Okay, so I got my rings off. Got them just lined up in order that I took them off there. They don't look as nice as those ones. So what I'm going to do now is find some 400 or 600 grit, and I'm just going to give it a light sand. There's really no high spots on it, so it's nothing that really needs to be done, but I'm just going to give it a quick light. I found some 320 grit, 320, but I don't really want to use that. If I do, of course, it'd be wet, but I'm sure I got some 400 or 500 bodywork sandpaper somewhere in this mess. Say if, like on this piston here with the high spots, you'd probably be best to use a little file to get them off, a fine-tooth file. But in this case here, I'm just going to give it a quick sanding. And for honing the cylinder now, I don't have a ball hone small enough to do that cylinder. And you can see it's just a little bit of glazing happening, so I'm just going to use a standard cheapie, because it's the only thing I have that will go that small. And I don't know what just leaked out of it there, but that just leaked out of it. So I'll start the video again once I sanded this, or gave it a quick sanding. Sweet. Okay, so I'm just going to give this piston a quick sanding. I already gave it just a quick one. Yes, I'm using 320 grit sandpaper, lithium lube or silicone lube. So just giving it a quick spin in my hand. It's pretty grippy. I'm not putting any pressure, I'm just letting it pretty much go by itself. And that's pretty much done. I'm going to give the top of the piston a little bit of a clean up. And there looks pretty good. Okay. So that is only a very, very light cover or sanding. You can see there's still some marks there, but you can't even feel them. The top was already pretty clean, so I'm not going to worry. There's no sharp ridges on the bottom. So I'm going to reinstall my rings and give it a quick honing. Okay, time for the quick hone. No, I didn't say hound. Freaking dog. Okay, so I'll get you to hold the camera then. Okay, so I'm going to give it again some silicone lube. Get everything nice and wet there. Put this onto the drill, which is on high for a second here. Unlock it. I'm going to actually give these a quick spray too because they're a bit dry from sitting. Loosen my tension a bit. Don't need that so tight because it's a small cylinder. Ooh, that's just borderline. I'm going to be big enough for this cylinder. And I don't want to hit the crank. I'm going to have to turn it on an angle here so I can see where the crank is. Squeeze in, pull out. Okay, that might be all I need. Okay. Second here. Get the oil off my hands, grab the camera. And you're done, Jordan. You can take off. My brother, computer nerd. Had to borrow him. Hey, what? You're going to go with him? Goddamn traitor dog. Anyway, you can see there, that's pretty much all it needs. I'm going to pause it, turn on the light on my camera here, and clean it up a little bit. So just give me a second. Okay, so here it is after about 15 seconds worth of honing. Still a little bit of grease in there. Still one little mark on the side there where it didn't quite go deep enough, but I'm just going to leave it the way it is. This, again, isn't a real rebuild. It's kind of just a freshen up, get it running kind of thing. Time for the fun part, pulling the flywheel. And holy crap, is that huge, eh? Sweet. So just be a few seconds, I'll pull that off. And then I gotta find my valve tool. Sweet. Okay, so got the clip for the one-way gear here off. You can see it's nice and dry. Everything's working fine on it. What a lot of people I have seen screwing up with this is they put heavy grease in here. That is a big no-no. You want this virtually dry. So maybe a dry lithium spray or something along that lines. But you do not want it wet where it's going to make those balls stick up into the corner here. That is bad. So of course you want them nice and light. So, and it's not really catching the best on that side there is because it's on an angle, as you can tell. So now I got to find my flywheel puller. So, well, my tool for spinning this off with the impact gun. So I know I got all those tools somewhere. It's just been years and years and years, no doubt, at least 10 years since I pulled a flywheel on one of these. So Tecumseh's I have pulled, you know, recently, so it's the same idea, kind of. So just give me a day or two to find my tools. Nah, just kidding, I'll find them quicker than that, but sweet. Now for the fun thing, getting off the starter clutch. I know there's a big socket tool that you can put on and use an impact gun to pop it off. I have got it off just using pliers and locking the flywheel. Of course, that's not ever the real best way to do it because you never want to snap any of those tabs off. So by the looks of it, this one here hasn't been off yet. They're all in good shape. So I'm going to take a dirty rag. I'm going to spin the flywheel. Yes, I got it all apart, of course, still. I'm going to spin it up until I get the gap right here. I'm going to shove the rag into that gap. And that should lock it against the Magneto. Nope, maybe not locking it the best there. So, oh, there we go. Now it's locked in place. Now, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do this while holding the camera. I'm going to put my arm on top of it here. Neither the towel's moving or it's not moving. Okay, I'm going to have to lock that in a bit better. So just give me a second. I'll lock in this a bit better. I need two hands to lock it in tight. Just give me a second. Oh, there we go. That's like my 5th time. I just going to edit out of the video all the other times. Took just a while to actually get the cloth caught in there. So doing it with the cloth, you can see it's just stuck in that little gap right there. So work to get that off. And that was a little bit tighter than I remember them going on. So, and of course, nothing broken on there. So put that with my other miscellaneous parts. Now for the fun part, getting off the actual flywheel. So I've seen people using, I'm just going to use this chisel here that was in a random pile of garbage. I've seen people pry up on chisels from the back and give it a center a hit with an air hammer. It's somewhat the same way that I do it, is hold up the engine like this in the air and just give the end of this a slight smack with a hammer, and sometimes it'll just drop right off. So this one here you can see is very tight. So just give me a second here. Maybe I'll try the hammer trick. I don't want to mash these threads too much, so how can I hold this camera? Give me a second here. I'll try to prop it up on this wonderful box of junk. Okay, so I'm going to hold it by the flywheel and just give it a light tap. Light tap. Just like that. Look at that. So, and just so you know, no, I didn't just do that before the video, but that came off freaking easy. I'm actually happy how easy that came off. So now let's see what kind of shape the points and condensers in. A little bit of rust stain underneath there. So, a little bit of breakage on the back of the aluminum on the Magneto flywheel, I mean. So you can see it's been heated up at one point there, so, or rubbing, I guess, and heating up, so the gaps at one time weren't set right. The flywheel key stayed inside the flywheel, so I'm just going to leave that. So I'm actually surprised that came off that easy. Sometimes you got to actually give them some pretty damn good hits. You can see, of course, no damage whatsoever. I just held it up. So now, another thing I was actually thinking of doing with this engine is actually taking out the entire generator assembly and just running the points off a 12-volt battery, and actually getting some heavy cast flywheel for the other end and just making it just run off a battery, just getting rid of all this, just for the hell of it, something to do. Not too sure yet what I'm going to do with this engine. I'm still liking the idea of a mini generator. So maybe a 35 amp generator or a 20 amp generator / alternator combo. So not too sure yet. Okay, ready to pull it off. Caution, do not use steel keys and flywheels. See instructions. So, ooh, that actually was sealed on there pretty good. A little bit of silicone, but it's wet. You can see there's some oilish grease in there, so who knows what shape the seal's in. I'm guessing the seal's going to be good, but I'll probably change it anyway. Let's give it a quick spin here. It is opening and closing, so that's a good thing. I know it's not really showing up on the video there, but you can see it right there. That's just me turning the crank side to side from inside the engine, of course. So the points actually all look good on this. Nothing's rusted, nothing's corroded. Still going to pop it all apart here. Ooh, original silicone, yummy. So first thing I'm going to do is pop out the crank. That came out nice and easy. Oh gee, ain't that good for the crank, hey? It doesn't matter. See the little lobe there? That's for your points. Tiny little lobe. So gap where they contact. So that all looks to be in good shape. Just put that aside for now. Everything there looks in good shape. The seal's not cracked anywhere that I could see. Again, I'm probably going to replace that seal for sure while I'm at it. And of course, man, frick, that's lightweight. I normally, if I'm working on an engine, it's going to be an antique cast iron one. I have actually not worked on too many 2-horses. Smallest motor I've been working on before this one, as in lawnmowers, were, of course, 5-horse or larger. I have done plenty of carburetors and stuff on these, but never actually any teardowns like this, even though I used to do tons and tons of this. So it all feels to be in great shape. So time to pull off the Magneto. Sweet. And of course, this one here is actually soldered on. No, it's just a clip around there, so it's bolted on. I know some of them just have the push pin. So give me a second, I'll gut this. Okay, got it all gutted. Everything actually looks to be in very nice shape. The contacts were all nice and clean. This was a bit of a bitch to get out. So, see, there's a little bit of a groove at the top, a groove ring at the top there. This is the top side. So I just gotta remember to put that facing up when I put it back together. But, yeah, seal looks to be in good shape. So I'm going to see if I can get that seal still. If I can, I'll change it. Same with the one on the back plate. Wherever the hell I left the back plate, and it's buried underneath there. So now for the serial number on this engine, should I go off this plate here? Because I actually looked, I got a spare plate like this that's just black. So I can just put in just a plain black one, and I can continue using the serial number right here. Which, now the thing is about these engines, this engine was first started production in 58, and 59 was the, like 58, 59 was when this engine was first started being made. Now, this here saying 59 on here, I know there's a lot of complications here in my Briggs and Stratton book. Now, is this a date code, or is that still, because this says serial number, it's not model, like it's not, it's serial number, so some people are saying that the date code doesn't come in effect until the 60s. So in this one saying 59, I'm going to pretend it's year 1959. Of course, it does have the old style Briggs and Stratton front on it. So I'll see if I can find myself a replacement decal like that. If I can, I'll use it. If not, I actually have a different recoil which matches the date on this. But if you look here, there's no model stamped. So if there's no model stamped, but it has a 71 here, this number is the same, but that's just a type number. But the serial number is different. So what plate is original to this engine? So I don't think there's any casting numbers or anything as far as I remember on these engines. So what I'm going to do now is I got to actually find my valve spring compressor, because I want to pull out those valves, take a look at them, clean that up the best I can, because they're pretty bad in there. I might even sandblast this case for the hell of it. Don't know if those pins come out. They're pretty damn tight. So, but anyway, for today, that's where I'm going to leave this.